Welcome to Paranormal Almanac. With your host, Kurt Sandvig. That's right, I'm your host, Kurt Sandvig, and on this edition of Paranormal Almanac, let's talk to the man, the myth, the legend, that is Eoin O Faodhagain. Who? Just wait a second, you'll find out. But first, as always, we have shout-outs. Let's get right on into it, because I really want to get to this, the interview part of this one. We have shout-outs going out to Welcome, Kimberly Welch, Adam Morissette, Karen, Ethan, Duran, Nikki Loves James, Cobalt Slayer 42, Lori, Alicia, Rebecca, Ann, Stephen Share, Jane Ann, Jennifer, Heather G, your friendly neighborhood skinwalker, Zuzus, What's It, Nico Share and the Mouse, Mark and Tina, Tortuga, Mike from Jersey, Jay Bizzle, Andy, Tracy, Virginia Mailman, Tony the Magician, Jason, Vicky, Crow, Clay, Buzz. You'll hear more about Buzz in just a moment. Libido Works, Glacier Main, Isabel, Jen, Stacy, Amber, Tracy, Kelly Joe, Menace the Beast, Kick-Ass Magic Robot Webcomic, Sandy, Paige, Couch, Batman 666, Andrew, Scott, Andrea, Melody, Vanessa, Marisol, Liam, Roger, Becca, Jake, Charlotte, and the Beasties. Yes, nailed it. Jen, Elizabeth, Voidtech, Sherry, Artmuth, and Tim, Kenneth, Ricky, Ian, Alexandra, George, Zozo the Demon, Hayden, Cindy, Ashley, Carrie, Robin, Will, Lauren and Phil Mangano, Russell, April, Isabel, Audra, Dorian, Cindy, Bob, Paula, Jeff T, Joe, Lawrence, the Lawrence Strawn, Hey Howdy Hi, Veronica, Autumn, J. Mark Manning, Carolyn, Jaden, and Ashley, Chuck, Todd, Jamie, and Elijah Hendrickson, Dan, Laura Pitts, and Gamer Fan. With two special shout-outs to Joe Teague and to Stitch, as always, my boy. Now, this episode is brought to you by Beyond the Doorway. That's right, Beyond the Doorway podcast. Search for it. Hi, Rum. Hello. I'm plugging the show. I'm talking about Buzz's new podcast. Yeah. Hi, sweetheart. That's right, Beyond the Doorway is a podcast by Buzz Lee himself. I was just talking about him a second ago in the shout-outs that some of you guys decide to skip. But I'm telling you, I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm saying this because it's freaking awesome. If you go to Beyond the Doorway on Apple Podcasts, you're going to find some episodes by Buzz. And I got to say, they're freaking cool. Let's listen to the trailer. I think I can do this. Let's see. Hopefully I can.
She was terrified. She was screaming and she was flagging me down.
I felt something just walk right through me. My blood ran cold.
And the lighting was really weird, and it like caught on the face.
The screen door was closed, and it opened by itself.
It's really, really like a place you don't want to go in the dark.
There was a big storm that night, bad storm with lightning.
One of the things they found digging around was a broken tombstone. It only said 2 words. Margaret died.
The door unlocked and flung open like someone kicked it open.
They didn't make any noise
I know that guy.
whatsoever.
Oh, it's just a ghost. You have to tell him to leave you alone at night.
And then I heard a little boy say, "Daddy, he's here."
Beyond the Doorway, coming August the 8th, 2023.
That's right. If you go over to Beyond the Doorway podcast. Oh, it almost started playing something else. Oh my God. Too much buzz. No, it's awesome. I got to tell you, August the 8th, Covered in Blood with Kathleen Monroe was released. August 15th, Ghost in the Theaters with Tim Harkleroad. And then August 22nd, right now, Cosmic Invitations with Amity O'Day. So after, this is very important, after you get done listening to this episode, sure, check out Beyond the Doorway, but not now. You gotta wait till after. Good job, Buzz. I really did enjoy the episode. I really did. I thought it was a really cool, really neat idea, and I really enjoyed it. All righty, let's get into, that's enough Buzz love for one episode. Let's get into paranormal news.
Strange things happen every day. Keep a watch out and be on your way. That's just the way the universe moves. But now it's time for paranormal news.
Yes, indeed, it is time for paranormal news. The first story in paranormal news, if it ever decides to pop up on the screen, there we go. Strange sightings? Are there really UFOs in Port Talbot? According to actor Michael Sheen, the Welsh steel town has an extremely high number of sightings of unexplained phenomena. Let's see, over 2 years ago, Rue Lewis photographed the Welsh town of Port Talbot, which, according to actor Michael Sheen, has an extremely high number of UFO sightings. However, the resulting book, Port Talbot UFO Investigation Club, is not a study of alien sightings, but instead uses the phenomena as a starting point to explore the people, landscape, and folklore of the town. All right, that seems cool. I like cool photographs. I like aliens. I like UFOs. Do I like Michael Sheen? I think I like Michael Sheen. Wait, who is Michael Sheen? I got to make sure it's the guy I'm thinking of. It is. Yeah. No, it totally is. It's Good Omens. You ever watch Good Omens with David Tennant and Michael Sheen? Yeah, that Michael Sheen. That's the guy. So if you like him and you don't like me, that's totally fine. I respect that. But, yeah, check it out. It sounds cool. Up next in paranormal news, I'm trying to cruise through these because I want to get to the interview. I'm very excited. Up next, Loch Ness Monster, not a monster, hundreds to join huge search for Nessie this weekend. Going on now. That's right, 200 volunteers are to help record natural and any unusual sights on Loch Ness from vantage points on land. Almost 300 have signed up to monitor a live stream from the search, which is taking place on Saturday and Sunday. It is 90 years since the modern myth of Nessie began. No, it's not. It started in 565 AD. Come on. In April 1933, hotel manageress Aldi McKay said she'd seen a whale-like creature in the loch. The Courier newspaper reported the sighting, and the editor at the time, Evan Barron, suggested the creature be described as a monster. Oh, so this is the motherfucker that's calling everything. This is the guy that sparked a monster part of this. Nessie, not a monster. Loch Ness Monster, not a monster. Evan Barron, who's long since dead, I'm assuming. Since the mystery of Nessie has inspired books, TV shows, and films, as well as sustaining a major tourism industry. This weekend search has been organized by the Loch Ness Center in Drumnadrochith and a volunteer research team called Loch Ness Exploration. Drones fitted with infrared cameras are to be flown over the loch, and a hydrophone is to be used to detect unusual underwater sounds. So here's what I'm asking. If you're a paranormal listener, you're listening to this episode right now, what I need you to do is hopefully you can buy it quick enough, like hopefully Amazon's good over there. Buy it right now. So for tomorrow or Sunday, I need you to buy like a waterproof speaker. I need you to put that somewhere in the loch and then just play Paranormal Almanac. So when they're like listening for Nessie with the hydrophones, they're like, wait, hold on. We're getting something. And it's just like an underwater version of, I'm Kurt Sandvig, and I say things, and I can't describe the town's name correctly because I'm a dumb American. You know, just put on an episode of Paranormal Almanac. Doesn't matter what episode. You know what? If you really want to go crazy, put on, what is it, like the 200th episode? That one's like 9 hours long? Yeah, throw that one on there. They got 9 hours of hydrophones. And then they're going to be like, I guess Nessie really likes this podcast, Paranormal Almanac. Then boom, I've made it, baby. Finally. Let's see. Alan McKenna of Loch Ness Exploration told BBC Radio's Good Morning Scotland, we're looking for breaks in the surface and asking volunteers to record all manner of natural behavior on the loch. He said the loch could play tricks on people's eyes and their minds. Not every ripple or wave is a beastie. Some of those can be explained, but there are a handful that cannot. Loch Ness Center General Manager Paul Dixon added, "The interest in our weekend of activities has been fantastic, and to see how many people from all around the world are still fascinated by the story of the Loch and Nessie. We want anyone in the world to be able to help, which is why we're looking for budding monster hunters from anywhere to log into our live stream of the Loch over the weekend and see if they can spot anything mysterious. We can't wait to see what they find." So there you go. You don't have to go down there to try and help them find Nessie. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, or break into somebody else's home that's even more comfortable and do it from there. I can't stop. I can't control what you guys do. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm not saying you should break into your neighbor's home because they have a bigger, nicer home that's more comfortable. I'm not saying if you do, you can be in their home and you can find Nessie until the police arrive and arrest you. Organizers said the effort could be the largest search for the not a monster since the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau carried out a study in 1972. The Bureau was set up in the 1960s to find proof of a large beast in the water. It was wound up in 1977 after it was unsuccessful in uncovering any significant evidence for or against the existence of a not a monster. There you go. That is cool. You don't have to be out there to do it. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, like I just said. Log in wherever you're at this weekend. Log in. Try and spot Nessie. You'll hear more about why you should do that in just a little bit, but trust me, you should try and do that. Alrighty, up next in paranormal news, the biggest hunt for Nessie begins. Enthusiasts from across the world will use drones with infrared cameras and underwater detectors in new search for monster. After little girl's photo is hailed as the best picture in years? What? Holy crap. We've got a new Nessie spotter. Her name is Charlotte Robinson. She was visiting the Loch with her family when she saw Nessie. Let's see. I want to get to the photo. We've already talked about all this crap. Here we go. Charlotte Robinson was at Loch Ness where she took a photo of what she thinks is the Loch Ness Monster. The grainy picture appears to show an object moving out of the gray water. Oh, there it is. It's a cute little photo of Loch Ness. Aw. Charlotte had been staying at the Loch Ness Highland Lodges at Invermorstonach in 2018 when something popped up in the water 50 feet from the bank. Grabbing her camera, Charlotte was able to snap a picture of a blob in the water, which apparently surfaced for a minute before disappearing again. She had been on holiday with her parents, Kat and Dave, when the incident occurred at about 7 p.m. one evening. Describing the moment she came face-to-face with Nessie, she explained that there had been something there. She said, "There was something in the water about 50 feet from the shore. I took a photo. It had a neck, and a head was in the shape of a hook. I just looked at what I saw. It was black. I just don't know how far it was out in the water. I'm not good at judging distances." She's a little girl, people. Back off. But after a minute, it disappeared and then came back up again in a different place. It was up for less than a minute the second time. Yeah, that's cool. Even though it happened in 2018, that's cool. It's relatively new. That's freaking awesome. Already up next in paranormal news, a story that's not about Nessie. Skeptic stunned by resurfaced video of Bigfoot in Mississippi woods. Quote, "The best footage ever recorded." I don't know if I've seen the footage or not yet. I didn't want to click on it until right now. The video was recorded by Josh Highcliffe, who posted it to YouTube back in 2015. It's clocked more than 811,000 views. Let's be the I'll be the judge if this is the best footage of Bigfoot ever. Okay. We're in the woods. Obviously. Shaky camera. I think I've talked about this video before. This one actually looks vaguely familiar. There's something behind the tree. What is it? Is it a monkey? Is it a bear? Is it a guy in a Bigfoot suit? Is it Bigfoot himself? Let's find out. Oh, yeah, I've seen this video. This was very, chimpanzees looking for, ants and gnats and, stuff in trees. And, they start pulling off the bark of trees. Yeah, I mean... I said it back then. I said, yeah, it's a cool video. I can't, no idea what it was. In the caption beneath the 2-minute clip, Highcliffe explained that he came across the creature ripping bark off a tree trunk and throwing it to the ground. He added that he was afraid of the hairy beast after stumbling across it on a hunting trip. "I was out hunting hogs, just sitting in a part of the swamp, when I heard a noise behind a tree. When I got around, I could not believe my own eyes. There was this big black thing crouched by a dead cypress about 50 yards away. I thought it was a hog, but then I saw these big shoulders and a head upright with hands." Come on up, Rum. Come on up. Come on. Oh, what do you got for me? Oh, yeah? You want to trade that? All right, hold on a second. Hold on, people. I got to trade rum. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. There you go. Enjoy your treat. Sorry, whenever rum brings me something that she's not supposed to have, she can trade it for a treat. And she always does, because it's a good deal for her and, you know, for me, I guess. I don't care. I think it's fun. Anyhow, they said this is by far the most convincing video I've ever seen on Bigfoot and its possible existence. I'm usually a huge skeptic, which pisses my friends off to no end. But I have to say this is by far the best and most convincing footage I have ever seen, another person commented. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool back then. It's cool now. I'm glad it's getting the attention it deserves. Up next in paranormal news, Squonkapalooza to be held Saturday in Central Park. That's right, Squonkapalooza. You got to say it like that. You got to add that little, Squonkapalooza will be held from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday in Central Park in downtown Johnstown. That's Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The free family-friendly cryptid carnival and vendor show hosted by Cryptoteology and Cryptid Comforts recognizes Pennsylvania's cryptid, the squonk. If you don't know what it is, I was going to do an episode about it, but maybe I still will, but I'll still give you this info. The squonk is a cryptid creature from Pennsylvania that started as a lumberjack folklore from the early 1900s. And it's said the squonk lives in the hemlock forest in Pennsylvania, and they cry all the time because they're so ugly. All right. I will not have squonk shaming happen on my show. Lisa Russell, founder of Cryptid Comforts. She said the idea of the festival is to uplift the squonk and make the Pennsylvania lore worth celebrating, even if it's a sad, weird one. Okay, that's two backhanded compliments on the squonk. First you call it ugly, and then you said it's a sad, weird one. Lisa, you and me. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to fight her. Johnstown resident Joe Fogel, owner of Cryptoteology, said they wanted to present a unique event in downtown Johnstown. We've been working towards putting together something fun and celebratory of the weirdness of Pennsylvania. It's not just to uplift the squonk, but to uplift the community. Sure, I think it's cool. Scattered throughout the park, there'll be 60 artistic vendors, that's what I'm trying to say, with a majority selling cryptid-related items. There'll be a wide variety of various things. There'll also be games and children's activities, musical entertainment, storytelling, photo opportunities, and food trucks. So if you're in the area, I know I've got listeners in Pennsylvania. I don't know how far this is from you. I don't keep... There's no trackers on you. Don't worry. I can't track you. But if you're in the area, go down there. That sounds like fun. Squonkapalooza. There you go. I had to add the Squonkapalooza. Neither ugly nor sad and weird. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it should be. I don't know. I can't help you with that. Up next in paranormal news, ghost photographed at 15th century castle in Ireland? Question mark? Well, a peculiar photo taken by a woman in Ireland shows what she believes to be the ghost of a little girl who looked at her from the window of a 15th century castle before vanishing from sight. The incident reportedly occurred earlier this month as Gail Newport and her partner were on vacation in the county of Kerry. As part of their excursion, the pair made a stop at Ross Castle, and they said they have a photograph of a ghost girl. All right, there she is. Let's see. Is it a ghost Kerry 15th century tower house apparition? It looked like she had a little teddy bear. I mean, I don't see a little teddy bear. It kind of does look like somebody's looking out the window. It could possibly be a little ghost girl. Could possibly be another tourist. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's neat. I'll tell you that. Alrighty, that about does it for paranormal news. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are back. And Paramaniacs, let me tell you, I interviewed someone that I thought was just as elusive as Nessie herself. If you've ever listened to my show, you'll know that I talk about this guy almost as much as I talk about Nessie, and it is my sincere thrill to have on this episode for everyone out in the world to hear the veteran webcam Nessie spotter, Eoin O Faodhagain. That's right, I said Eoin O Faodhagain, not how I've been pronouncing it for so many episodes, Eoin O Faodhagain. No. It is Mr. Eoin O Faodhagain, veteran webcam Nessie spotter himself. It was a delight to talk with him. I had no idea what the conversation was going to be like. If he was just going to be like, I don't know, man, I was just, sitting at home, and I was looking at the website, and I spotted Nessie. Back the hell up. Like, I didn't know how it was going to go. And it went above and beyond the coolest. He's the coolest guy. I had such a fun chat with him, fun time talking to him. I didn't want to take up too much of his time because, time difference and stuff. I didn't want him to be like, it was like 10 hours later. I didn't want him to be like, look, dude, it's like way early, or it's way late at night. I kind of want to go to bed. And I'm here going like, I love Nessie. So, Eoin O Faodhagain, the coolest guy. Please enjoy this interview with, once again, the man, the myth, the legend, the veteran webcam Nessie spotter, Eoin O Faodhagain. No, are you kidding me? Not at all. Are you? I am so excited to chat with you. You have no idea.
Eoin O Faodhagain.
Whoa! I got like none of that right. I was calling you Eoin O Faodhagain, and I was like proud of myself.
It's close enough.
Oh, no. I'll make sure I get it right. All right. Now that I got it on recording. But thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how excited I am and how long I've wanted to talk with you. You are the man, the myth, the legend himself. I cannot thank you enough for being on the show.
No problem, Kurt. I'm delighted to be here.
So how did you reach out? You reached out to me. I put my email address in a couple of your comments or your YouTubes and whatnot, but how did you reach out to me? How did that happen?
Well, somebody on must be one of your fans reached out to me on a YouTube channel of mine, Loch Ness Monster Sightings, and they reached out to me, said, Kurt would love to have you on your show. I didn't even know who, what, or when. So I said I had to go look into it first. You say I didn't know. Maybe I was getting winded up here or whatever. So I had to be careful about that. So I answered. The person was a woman.
Okay.
I answered and I said, if he wants me, he can contact me through Gary Campbell of the official Loch Ness Sightings. But I thought about that and said, here, that's a bit abrupt. I said, here, I'll go direct for the juggler. So I said, I'll contact. But I had to go and get your email address. So I had to look up Facebook to get the email address. I had a while to try and get that. So once I got that, Bob's your uncle. Here we are.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the effort to do that. And I got to find that fan, and I got to thank them 100% because I think I have always said I think I talk about Nessie more than anyone else on the internet, except maybe you. And how did that come about? When did you first get into Nessie and searching for Nessie?
I was on holiday to Scotland back in 1987, and I was staying actually in Drummond Drucket, and I had gone down to I wasn't driving at those days. I was only in my early 20s. And I was on the bus service and I went down to Fort Augustus, see Fort Augustus, and look all around the Abbey there at the loch. And I was coming back on the bus, and it was a rainy day. And how I know what the day was, I was talking to a skipper out in Fort Urquhart Castle the next day. I was telling him what I saw, and he said actually it was a force 8 blowing north south with a swell of 2 to 3 foot out in the lake. So when I was coming back anyway in the bus, I was where I could get a vantage point looking out through the window of the bus, and they're near Invermorrison. That's the best way I could describe where it was, near Invermorrison. Out in the middle of the bay was this large boulder, as the best describe it, mottled brown, like a big rock, starting out in the middle of the loch, and I couldn't say what it moves because the bus was moving. I couldn't say was the object moving, but the waves are just splashing up on it about halfway up. So this thing had to be about 5-6 feet out of the water.
Holy crap!
About the same distance, in length, and she was just sitting there, and I'm looking at this for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and the person was with me, and I never even turned around, Kurt. Now, you talk. I know you look at your you interview people with UFOs and all. When you're fixed on an object that's interesting, you don't be thinking about who's with you, who's on the bus, or stand up. Oh, look, I'm looking at Nessie.
That's true.
Those things don't come into play. I'm very sorry on live. That's you just boom, you're fixed. And I was looking at this, and I was just fixed on it, and I was trying to figure out, what am I looking at? And it couldn't be a big rock out in the middle of the lake because it's a glacial lake. There's no rock in the middle of the lake. She just goes straight down at the sides. And I said, I was thinking, this must be Loch Ness Monster. But, you're still trying to process the information. And the next minute, about after nearly 2 minutes of looking at this, next minute, the trees of the forest came into view, lost sight of Loch Ness. Couldn't see it after that, and that was the end of it.
Oh.
And, you'd be thinking, would you let me off the bus quick, and run down the journey. But you don't know, your brain doesn't be switched. I was just, and there, as I said, I never even said that to the person who was with me. I was just in awe looking out the window of the bus. And that was my first sighting, and that was a live sighting in '87.
Did you talk to anybody?
The next day, he said it swelled to 2 to 3 feet. So my object, it was only coming up halfway, had to be 5 to 6 out of the water.
Now, did you ask anybody in the bus?
I couldn't say was it moving. I couldn't say that.
Sure. Oh, sure. But did you actually say, like, after the fact, after it processed, it took a minute to process, were you like, did anybody else see that?
Yeah, after the process. After I processed, all right. And this image kept on with me. And, like, years on, I have dreams about it, even years on. The image never left me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's everybody's dream that goes out there. I mean, even the skeptics are like, I'd like to see it. And you got to see it right off the bat.
Yeah. No.
So since then,
Mottled Brown. And now some of the sightings on Loch Ness, some of them do say Mottled Brown.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
I could tell you, it was definitely Mottled Brown. It wasn't grey. It wasn't black. That a lot of people would say they're grey and they're black and they're this and they're that. It was definitely Mottled Brown, and it just reminded me like a big boulder, a big rock out in the middle of the bay. Wow. That was it.
And you're right, there are no big rocks. The way that the loch is done, you're right. It's a steep drop off.
Just straight down. Boom. Good luck.
That's incredible. Now, how many recorded sightings have you had of Nessie since then, including like the online ones and everything?
I have had that just one live sighting, and I have 15 registered webcam sightings.
Man.
And I have 9 unregistered webcam sightings. And the 9 unregistered ones have gone to press, gone to print, went all around the world.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about every one of them, but I don't understand.
The same as the registered ones would have done, the unregistered ones did the same thing.
Oh, sure, but why won't they register every one of your sightings? Because I talk about every one that comes across the news source.
Yeah, well, after 2021, in 2022, in August 2022, the 5 new webcams came on site, and they were better. It was a better quality webcam than the one at Urquhart Castle. There's a higher quality resolution, and they turned around and they rejigged the rules. They said that you have to have a clear facial image of the Loch Ness monster to be registered. So
that bums me out. I think all of
yours
are fine.
Nobody in the history of the Loch Ness monster has a clear facial image of the Loch Ness
exactly.
monster. They're standing on the side of the shore or by webcam. So that kind of knocked me off for a year and a half. But persistent paid, and my last one on the 4th of July got registered.
I'm loving the fact that they're back to being registered, because that really bummed me out. And I said it on a few episodes that, if your name is attached to a sighting, it's a registered sighting as far as I'm concerned, because, somehow you've become the go-to guy for all things Nessie. Did you ever think your name would be connected to the Loch Ness Monster?
No, never. I never thought my name was connected with anything. I thought, well, when I die, I was thinking, did I leave a footprint behind me in this world? And I was thinking, a whole lot, like.
Boy, howdy have you. You've gotten your name. I mean, it is right there. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, you're the Nessie celebrity for me. You're the one that I've wanted to have on the show. So I'm ecstatic that you're here. What's your opinion on Nessie being called a monster?
Well, it is a monster till they define what it is. So if it's unknown, well, it has to be a monster. I mean, anything unknown, I mean, what is it? I mean, a UFO in the sky, I mean, what do you call that? You don't know what it is. I know you don't say it's a monster flying around, but it's an unidentified flying object.
True.
Yeah, so anything in the water that we haven't identified what it is, well, no, it's a monster, surely, yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, Nessie to me has never done monster things. Like, if you say the word monster, I think of, I picture something attacking and eating people and ripping them to shreds.
You were thinking of King Kong.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that's one thing. Like, I always want to call her Nessie, and I feel bad that she's gotten that stigma of being a monster. Monster. Are you going to join the largest search for Nessie that's going on this weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm registered already. Well, the thing about it, they're looking now for 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm looking anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was pointless me not joining them, because sure, I'm looking anyway. And then they asked me, "Oh, what days are you looking, Saturday or Sunday?" Well, I have a brother of mine is up from Dublin, staying with me for the weekend, and he was going back Sunday morning. You see, so I said, well, I won't say Saturday because I mightn't have any time to look at the lock on Saturday. So I said on Sunday. So I'm down for Sunday's watch at Shortland Lodges. But, I'm looking anyway. I'm looking 365 days of the year, not 2 days of the year, But, I joined them anyway, and that's the best I could do.
I mean, that was going to be my next question, is how many hours a day are you searching for Nessie?
Well, I usually click in the morning before I go to work for about an hour in the morning. I click in, then I come home sometime in the afternoon, and then in the evening time. But I wouldn't be too hopeful about them this weekend, because the weather conditions in Scotland this weekend are not going to be great for Nessie spotting.
Oh no, really?
That's just a look at the draw. I mean, the weather forecast is rain and breezy. I mean, they're not ideal situations. Like, I know by looking at the webcam, if you're looking for a wake, I mean, the only time you're going to see a wake is it has to be dead calm. It has to be like mirror-like out there. You're not going to see a wake in 2 and 3 foot swells. You're not going to see a wake. You might see a hump, but you won't see a wake. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too hopeful about it.
It's a shame. That actually, though, that's a perfect thing.
You need a, like, they never even, in all their build up to it, nobody mentioned, what about the weather conditions?
Exactly.
Does that not matter? Matters, surely. It's the number one thing. Never mind the people to look at it.
That's true. No, that's 100% true. Now, you know what? That actually is a great thing. Is, can you give us, or my listeners, and me, tips and tricks for figuring out what is Nessie, or what could be Nessie, and what's something natural like shadows or waves or wakes or whatnot?
Well, you're going to have the natural phenomenon anyway. On a lake, Loch Ness is no different from any other lake. But I would kind of look, everybody wants Nessie to be a plesiosaur.
Yes.
But, I mean, we have to be realistic about this. Is that going to happen? I don't know. More than likely, probably not, because I haven't seen any plesiosaurs running around anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So we just have to be realistic with that. But we'd love Nessie to be a plesiosaur. Okay, and I don't think anyone would, say, "Oh no, I don't want to be that." No, we would, but to be realistic, I don't think so. I like to aim for an unknown species, and my second guess would be a giant eel, maybe. Because,
okay.
I mean, the amount of eels in Loch Ness is enormous. The amount of eels that's in it, it's stuffed with eels.
So you think that it could possibly be some form of unidentified giant eel or unidentified marine creatures, typical like an eel?
Unidentified, yeah. Or I mean, it could even be a hybrid or something.
True, very true. How many do you think there are, in your opinion? Obviously, this is just your opinion.
Well, the experts say there had to be a growing population of something like 15 or 25. I don't think that's realistic. If there is 2 or 3 of them there, I'd say that's all you're looking at, really and truly. I mean, if there was that many in it, I think there'd be sightings every 5 minutes in Loch Ness.
True. Good point. Why do you think there are such big gaps in the sightings, especially now with today's technology and the webcam and people like you that are searching the webcam? Why do you think there is large gaps in sightings?
People observe Loch Ness and probably think every wave and every bit of wind that's generated on top of the surface is Nessie, or a boat goes by and maybe half an hour later you'd see a current coming down the loch, or you'd see the waves that could start coming in shore, and you think there's something there. But but people get confused what they see.
True.
But then there's times that people think, oh, Nessie's going to be always out in the middle of the loch. Like, a lot of my sightings are not out in the middle of the loch. A lot of my sightings there in the Shoreland Lodges, they're not out in the middle of the loch. They're either on one side or the other side, but they're not always out in the middle of the loch.
Is there a best place?
The depth of Shoreland Lodge is just out there in short 20 yards out is about 80 feet. And then it goes to a depth of about 450 feet deep.
Sure.
You go further out. So the depth is in the lake. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the middle of the lake or the side of the lake, you still have a lot of depth there.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Now, is there a favorite spot that you do think that Nessie goes to more often than other spots?
Well, since they put the Shoreland Lodges webcam online in August, I've had about 9 sightings there in the Shoreland Lodges. I mean, there must be something going on in the Shoreland Lodges.
True.
And that's just my opinion on it.
Now, do you think that, or have anybody from this weekend, have they asked you, like, where should we be looking, or what's your opinion? Are you?
No, they have a whole pile of locations for people live to stand, and then they have the webcams also are going online, and they just ask you, oh, which webcam or which do you want to focus on? So I just said, here, I'll focus on Shoreland Lodge. Like, I didn't say who it was. I said who it was, but I didn't make any point about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I said, I just Shoreland Lodges, and then I said I watched it up to, I think they're only watching up to 6 o'clock in the evening.
Now,
from early in the morning.
Have you become kind of, besides from me and my listeners, have you become kind of a Nessie celebrity?
It's probably gone like that, but it's gone like that because of the worldwide attention. It's, I mean, it's not just, I'm not a worldwide attention in Ireland.
Really? You're not like a local celebrity?
No. It's outside of Ireland. It's not, and it's not. It might even not even be in the UK. It's Asia. It's places like Taiwan, Japan, Vietnam. It's everywhere. The US, Mexico, Canada. It's everywhere and in Europe, but not specifically in the UK or Ireland. No.
Oh, that's a shame. You should be a local celebrity as much as you are a celebrity to me.
Definitely not a local one, though.
That's insane to me.
They probably wouldn't even know where Loch Ness was.
Well, if you ever come out to California, drinks are on me because I would love nothing more than get a photo with you, get your autograph, and get a drink with you. All right, so scientifically, we kind of talked a little bit about what Nessie could possibly be. Do you think that in our lifetime we'll catch a Nessie or we'll find out? Yeah.
We may find out, but, they're going to use underwater drones now the weekend. Now, I think Adrian Shine used underwater drones there a few years ago to start mapping, people were talking about caves in Loch Ness. Almost like caves in Loch Ness. But actually, they were looking in the wrong place because that only came out there the other day that they actually found caves in one of the river systems going into Loch Ness that's only 100 yards from the loch. They found underwater caverns in the rivers linking cave systems in the hills. And they wouldn't disclose which river system going into Loch Ness that this was going on because they said, well, it's dangerous even to go down to where people have it. There's people over the TikTok. The TikTok.
Yeah.
They had people over there and they had drones and all an operation there last week, and they simply found caves. And Gary Campbell of the official Loch Ness Sightings Register said it was a very interesting finding that locals always believed there was caves linking the loch. There's actually caves linking the river that flows into the loch, and the loch is only seemingly 100 yards away from where these caves are. And so some of the caves were bottomless, but they said they couldn't see any signs of life. But then, they couldn't see nothing. You couldn't see your hand. It's like the rest of Loch Ness. About 15 feet down, you wouldn't see your hand in front of you.
Yeah.
With all the poop going into the loch. So it was interesting that there's caves there, but not actually in the loch. It's in the river system connecting the loch.
Now, have there ever been sightings in the river system as well?
Well, I was sure the famous sighting of them all in Columba in 565 AD. He was the first recorded sighting of Loch Ness, and that was on the River Ness, wasn't in Loch Ness.
And that just happened. You brought it up in the email. That was this week, right?
Yeah, it was the anniversary date the other day, the 22nd of August.
22nd of August, 565 AD. Wow.
AD, yeah.
And it wasn't even in the loch proper. It was over in the river. So there you go. So there is some connection that, science is way too slowly, but it's putting the dots together.
Well, they have sonar contacts of large objects.
Oh yeah.
Down about 600 feet down. But it still needs to be more research done on trying to establish what are these large objects?
I think in the 70s they did that.
I think technology, still has to move forward for us ever to find out what Nessie is, or I believe Nessie exists, but we still have to find out what actually it is.
Oh, I agree. I think it was in the 70s.
I don't think you're going to get a visual. Nessie's not going to, like some of the reports in the 1930s of Nessie crossing the road and all.
Oh yeah.
I can't see that happening in 2023.
Fingers crossed, it could still happen. You don't know.
And I don't think we're going to see Nessie like a bullock crossing the field. Like, say, oh, there's Nessie. There, we identified her.
That's what we need. That's what we need, so no one has to catch Nessie. That's my fear, is that they have to catch or kill Nessie to identify, and I don't want that to happen.
Hopefully we won't have to kill her. We won't have to go to that extreme.
No, it's always my fear, like when you talk about like Bigfoot. Well, we got to kill one so we know what it is. No, we don't. How about we don't do that?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You don't want to kill one, do you? No,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You just want to prove that it exists, like.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite sighting, I think it was in the 70s, they did the sonar, and they got a big, large hit, and then they had the underwater camera, and there was a fin in the photo of the underwater camera. And I mean, that was from the 70s. So there is something big down there.
There was something big, but see what happened to the fin was the fin the image of it got doctored.
Yeah, well, that is true.
By the time it went and made it more prominent, they should have left the fin the way it was.
I agree with that.
It doesn't matter which way it was a fin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was unlike any other fin that would be on any mammal. So I don't know why, they had to go and doctor it and make it,
They always do it. They always do that.
It doesn't have to be spectacular.
No, I agree.
It was a fin, and that was it.
Yeah. And it was mind blowing enough as the fuzzier image. It didn't. You're right. It didn't need to be doctored, but still, one of my favorite images of Nessie. And like the continual, like it's the piecemeal of information, like your sightings and stuff. It keeps not only me, I mean, everybody around the world, it keeps us all interested in what the possibility could be at Loch Ness. And I know that, they like it because of tourism and whatnot, but I do think there is something special about Loch Ness and about whatever Nessie could be.
Well, I think there is, because, I mean, we're not talking about, we are talking about some lakes like Champlain, and there are a couple of lakes around the place that are prominent in Lake Okanagan. I was up in Lake Okanagan myself there in 2016.
No kidding.
But I wouldn't like to be up there at the moment. They're burning up, but hell, never. But I was up there in 2016. But there are a couple of lakes around the globe that have a history, and I think the history and the folklore and the whole lot. It all has to be all there. Can't be just somebody driving by a lake and say, "Oh, I'm seeing a big monster in it," and it has no backup, it has no folklore to it.
Yep.
Now, Loch Ness, it's the amount of folklore it has about something in that loch is something else. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, even the Picts drew on a stone what they thought the Loch Ness, what's supposed to be in Loch Ness. So,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yes. So there's definitely something in Loch Ness, yeah, and it's not a big huge seal. I don't believe it's a big huge seal. It's something. If it was something that we know about, we would identify it years ago.
Oh, I agree, and you're right. It's when the indigenous people of the area, and you can go back in historical records. Yeah.
Yeah, and they live in the way they lived. They know what's in there.
Exactly.
To a certain extent.
What it is and what it's not. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I love that idea that I'm happy that you think the same way, that, there is historical record if you go back and look on a few of the lakes. And there's some where there's just no historical record, yet people are swearing that there's a creature.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So you visited other lakes looking for did you? Were you going there to look for?
I was over in Lake Okanagan at a wedding, but I had a trip up and down the lake. All right, it was a big long lake to have a big trip up over. But yeah, I was fixed on the lake when I was out in Lake Okanagan, and I had a great view of the whole lake when I was there. I was up in one of the towers over in Cologne, and so yeah, I was delighted to be there. All right. But no, I didn't see Alcapogo.
I love it. I love it. So you're really out there looking for him. I love that. So what do you think will be the ultimate thing for you to have? Like, if someone said, "Hey, well, we want you to be part of our project," would you be part of their project? If we want to hire you, would you let them hire you? What would you hope to be so you can have your name even connected even more to Nessie?
Let's see. I know my name is out there, and I can't help my name being out there. But to me, it's just getting a credible sighting and getting it out there.
Would you like to be part of that team to do that?
Getting it on the press, getting it out there, and getting people to see it, not for my own, well-being, but just to help people to see, here, there's something in this lake. Take notice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was my own thing from day one. It wasn't Dr. O Faodhagain. It's not to get a PhD behind me names or anything else. You know what I mean? It's nothing about that at all. No. Some people think that, but it's not. No. It's just to get the story out there and get Nessie out there, and good luck. That's it.
No, I think that, honestly, every time that your name does appear in a story, or someone does talk to, like a news source does talk to you, talk to you directly, you've always been, in my opinion, very humble and very just matter of fact of like, here it is, here's what I saw, Here's the day I saw it, whatever. Like, you've
And
never tried to sensationalize it.
You can take it. You can take it any way you like yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no, but I firmly believe it. I'm not hoaxing that, and I'm not faking nothing. That's what it is. That's like the cover of the book. If you don't like the book, well, nothing I can do about it. You know?
What do your day job people think about your connection?
I don't. As I say, I don't publicize the fact.
But it doesn't.
Half of them wouldn't even. There's only one of them. Like I'm a clerical officer in the hospital, so there's only one of them actually know. I'm tuned into Nessie. The rest of them wouldn't have a clue what I do, what I'm doing. No.
I love it.
I'm not like that.
What do you think of the rest of the paranormal stuff? UFOs, Bigfoot, other cryptids. Are you interested in that stuff, or ghosts, or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, must be a trait I have. Definitely. Yeah.
Hey, in my opinion, it's a good trait to have. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm thoroughly. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this conversation. I didn't know what to expect because again, you're very short in your responses on news stories, so I didn't know what to expect. But you're just a genuine delight to chat with. I can't thank you enough.
Well, see, when I get a sighting, okay, in the last year and a half, eight of them weren't registered, okay, but when I got a sighting, I just go to my media source and takes off from there, and I use the same media source and takes off from there, and media today, they want to see something spectacular. But obviously, don't see Nessie running around the field, but they want to see something, that's worth looking at, and something that's more than 20 seconds. Do you know what I mean? So, I have other images on my YouTube channel that I never put forward to the press, but I just put them up on my YouTube channel anyway. Because they're unexplained to me, but I still wasn't 100% sure, is this Nessie or is it not Nessie?
Sure.
So once I had doubt, I didn't press it, but I still put them up on my channel.
That's actually a perfect segue to people finding your channel. What is your channel? How can people find you on YouTube?
It's Eoin O Faodhagain, Loch Ness Monster Sightings.
And I'll make sure I put a link in on the Facebook fan page and on the podcast as well, because I want to make sure that everybody finds you. And I apologize profusely for how bad I butchered your name. I like I said at the beginning of this, I always thought I had it not.
Don't worry about that. I'm used. I get that even in Ireland, and I'm Irish, so I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't lose any sleep about that.
Well,
you might say how the name is. My name in English is Fagan.
Yeah, your email, it said just Fagan, and I was like, whoa, I butchered it.
And then the Gaelic Irish, it's O Faodhagain. So my father, he christened us all in Irish. That's how, his name was Fagan, but he christened us all in Irish. So that's how my name's in Irish. So I just kept my name. That's my name. That's the name you were given. And
exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Hey, now I've got it on recording twice, and I'll listen to it a billion times until I get it right. And the next time I talk about you, which hopefully will be very soon, I'll make sure I nail it. American me, I screw up names constantly and places, and man, the listeners like to call it out. But I like to try. That's all I can ask. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, if you have an open invitation to this show. You can be on anytime you would like. I would always like to chat with you because again, you're a celebrity in my eyes, sir. And it always makes me very happy when I go looking for the news for my podcast, Paranormal News part of it. And I see your name. I know it's going to be a good story. And I'm always so excited to see it.
Well, that's the thing about Loch Ness. You can say, oh, well, I'll have something next week, but you never know.
Yeah.
Next week might never come. Next year might never come. 10 years' time still might never come. So it's not a kind of thing, oh, I know I'm going, I'm going to have a sighting now. That's the nature of the business I'm in.
But I think that's what I love about Loch Ness is you never know. You could go silent for a while and just boom, popped up.
I say nothing like since the 4th of July now.
Yeah,
the weather conditions haven't been great, but I've seen ditch, nothing.
And
there was I had a little brief something there about 12 days ago, but it was only about 13 seconds long, and I don't know what it was. But, I was in hiffing and I said no. I said I don't know what it was. There was a movement on the water, and then it vanished.
Really?
Yeah. And I was in betwixt and between about it, you know what I mean? But I tell you, Kurt, I'll tell you what I do. I have it on me. I have it on me drive. I'll send it to you.
Oh, please! I would love to see that.
No, it wasn't. It's not published. Probably won't be published either. But I didn't know what to make of it. Maybe you might have a better understanding what it might be. But I hadn't a clue. But it's just not long enough. You know,
sure.
Doesn't give you the hit. Doesn't give you the hit, but there's something moved, and I don't know what it is.
I would love to see it.
But
yeah.
I'll send it to you later on.
Thank you. Oh no, this is great. Is there any other place that you want people to find you, or if you want to be found, or you want to plug anything you want to plug?
It's just a YouTube channel. I'm not on Facebook.
Okay.
That's the only social media platform I have is YouTube, and it's just there for people to look at the site, and that's all.
Perfect.
As I say, some people have said to me over in Loch Ness, you do it for views and all this rubbish. But sure, it's not for views. I mean, all the webcam is under copyright.
Sure.
So if you can't do that, and you can't make any money. You can't make money on copyright. I can't. You know what I mean? So it's just views for people to watch what I see. I put out, and that's it. It's nothing else.
You're doing the Lord's work, I tell you, because that's exactly what I mean. Every time I've turned on the webcam, it's pitch black because time difference, and it drives me crazy. I got to start setting an alarm at like 3 a.m. and going and checking it out. But yeah, no, like you've inspired me, and I know you've inspired a number of my listeners to keep an eye on those webcams because you might get a sighting and you might get registered.
You don't know. You don't when nothing time. You know nothing.
Yeah,
you might be looking, and you won't get a sighting if you don't look at it.
That's true. That's the best way of thinking about it. Yeah. I can't thank you enough for being on the show. Thank you so much. This was an honor to talk with you and such a joy. I really do appreciate it. And I'll send you the link to the podcast when it actually comes out. Probably coming out in the next couple of days. But thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Courtney. Thanks for having me on.
I loved it. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
See? Honestly, how great was Owen? I've got to say, my favorite bit of this was when he said something to the effect of, you have to look for her to find her. And you know what? He's right. It's like the lotto. You can only win if you play. Well, you can only spot Nessie if you look for her. So get out there. Wake up at weird times of the night because, time change and stuff. And then click on the webcam and just watch for Nessie. Think about it. It's, it's a crapshoot. It's like winning the lotto. You're not guaranteed to see her. But if you do, and you report it, you just might get an official registration. Or registered sighting. There we go. An official registered sighting that has your name. And forevermore, your name will be attached to the Loch Ness Monster, not a monster. How cool would that be? Honestly, that gave me, I'm like, why aren't I looking for Nessie all the time? Why don't I have it just up on a TV while I'm working from home at the day job, all day long? And every now and then I'll just look up and, if I'm in a meeting or something, I can just watch the TV screen. And that way when I'm, in a meeting, I can be like, oh, hold on, everybody. Sorry, Nessie. I just saw Nessie. I just spotted the Loch Ness Monster, not a monster, and then derail that whole business meeting. That sounds like fun to me. That sounds like something that everybody should be doing. So, again, get out there. Watch the webcam. Find yourself a Nessie. Get on there. Get on the official registration or registered sightings of Nessies. Do it because if you want to. You don't have to, but if you do, and someone like interviews you and say like, hey, what made you decide to like click on the webcam and look for Nessie and then you spotted her, you can say Paranormal Almanac. That's who. Kurt from Paranormal Almanac. Because that'd be nice. It'd be nice, you know. I do a lot of stuff for you guys. I'm recording these episodes for you. So, yeah. All I got to say is, best of luck to everyone this weekend. I really hope the weather is good and the Nessie sightings are many. I really do. That about does it for this episode of Paranormal Almanac. But hold on. Don't turn it off yet. Come on. Don't turn it off yet. That about does it for the regular listeners. But you patrons, oh, don't go anywhere, because this one is all for you. Yeah. Anyhow, that about does it for the patron side of this episode. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. If you can, keep an eye out for Nessie. I think we all should keep an eye out for Nessie. You know what I'm saying? If we all check for Nessie, one of us is bound to spot her, because there's a lot of people on the lake, and Nessie's going to be like, what the hell's going on the lock today? I didn't agree to this shit. And, you know, pop her head up to find out what's going on. And then, boom, we got her. Then we got Nessie. So I think we can do it. I honestly think we do. And then we just, like I said, we make sure that we credit Kurt Sandvig of Paranormal Almanac. I would appreciate that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool. Hopefully we can do it. Once again, I'm your host, Kurt Sandvig, and this has been another edition of Paranormal Almanac. And that's really